technology, we are trying to make a smartphone really small, not just some connected devices. That's it.
Thank you. And you can just start.
Hello everyone, I am Ali from Smarty, we are co-founders, and it's really nice to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for joining.
Hello everybody, my name is Arslan, I'm from Turkmenistan. I'm just looking what's happening there.
Right, super. So, I think there's another one. Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad. Oh, sure. No, I'm just kidding. I will. That's good.
So, hi, my name is Omar. I research brain-computer interfaces, and I'm here to just check out the community because I'm trying to get my own startup off of the ground. So.
Nice. All right, perfect. So, who knows what we do here? There's one more? No. There we go.
So, hi everyone, I'm Rakhi Pal. I'm from India and I run a student community, a university student community in India, which is 10 lakh students strong. I am a part of the HTAC network in India. I connected with Taha today and I thought I'd just explore how are things here. So, I'm very excited to interact, network with all of you all, learn from you all, understand what you all are doing and learn from you all specifically. So, thank you.
Thank you. Alright, so today is a session where I think there's 3 people who'll be throwing out their ideas. And it is up to us to decide if we're going to invest in them. Is it a yes, is it a maybe, or is it a hell no? If it's a hell no, you got to come up here and tell them why you would not invest in them. Right? Be brutally honest, grill them if you have to. But let's make it, entertaining, exciting, and so we all leave with some knowledge and ideas to ponder upon. So who's going first? I think Bibin, or you?
No, I don't care about the order, but
Come.
on the list.
Yeah, come. I don't even have the list, so at least you know you're on the list.
Yeah. I can't give you the list.
Oh yeah, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Marwan. We have a startup here, like probably a lot of you. And the idea that I have is a bit interesting because I have a friend actually who is an investigator. Yeah? He is a professional investigator for more than 30 years, worked with the governments, etc., traveled, real interesting things, yeah? So it's a very simple idea. Who would be interested in learning these skills?
I want to spy.
I mean, that's what everybody would think right away, right?
No, but you're a spy.
Okay, I accept. Yeah, so what is investigation, yeah? The idea of investigation now, everybody, like you do research, you sit online, you start with all these engines, you start with all these ideas, but it's more of how you document what happens, and there is also something that is called the elements of truth, the where, how, why, all these 6 questions that are very important in investigation. So my question is, if we put his knowledge in an online platform, in videos, in, I don't know, maybe even training programs, things like that, who would be interested to come and take these classes? Who would be interested in becoming like skilled in investigation?
Like a detective?
Yeah, that's his designation, yeah? He is an investigator. Like, you could be licensed by the law, so become a detective, or become a PI, private investigator. So that's his job. He was before with the government.
So
Yeah.
does he teach profiling and everything like
Of course. Yeah. It's part of the techniques, right? It's like investigation. It includes knowing your Opponents, they call it the subject. Yeah, knowing the subjects, knowing how the things evolve, all the leads, etc. So yeah, all of it, the whole package. It's a lot of work, by the way. That is the only thing I can promise. Yeah?
I think it's interesting, but in this region, hell no.
But think about this, not only like somebody's cheating on somebody else, yeah? Investigation. I mean, that's what everybody's thinking, no? Let's forget about cheating for a second. It could be investigating due diligence for a company you want to invest in or you want to work with, right? A check that clears or doesn't clear, or it could at some level become a validation of a particular idea. Yeah, using these skills to find the right information for you, because at the end of the day, it's finding information. Yeah, it could be about somebody else's wife, or else it could be like about a company. Yeah.
Cool. So hold on. Before. How many of you would invest in this? Whatever, if you want to invest in this, how many of you would invest in this? So we've got 1, 2.
It's a platform.
So you're maybe? Okay, so you're a maybe and you need more information. Alright, brilliant. Who wouldn't invest? Okay, come on up. Join us. Tell us why. Come on, guys.
I think the first thing that comes to mind is that in this region, if you take, or in this country, if you take a picture of someone without their consent, it's a 500,000 dirham violation. I don't really, it's one of the laws here, so it's pretty common. I only get shot with 500,000 dirham fine every time I take a picture of someone, so I'll pass.
It's a nice idea.
1 second, can I answer him?
I just didn't understand what we're investing in, so I didn't understand what's the product. Like, is the product his course, or is the product what exactly? His scale?
It could be a platform or one like offline classes.
I would,
teaches you the skills.
I would definitely not invest in a platform because this is, in my opinion, not platform worthy. If it's a class, then it's just a class, and again, I don't see it as an investment opportunity. Like, you could just have an online class or an offline class, but it's not an investment opportunity.
I think there were others as well who raised their hands. Are you afraid to come up and say why?
So there's one hand there too.
She's a maybe, so I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you, sure.
I have a suggestion how to improve and where to target.
Alright, brilliant. So those who raised their hands don't want to come in front. Alright, brilliant. So go for it.
Okay, so as far as I could make out, he would somehow pack into a set of training skills or lessons, or somehow his ability to ask the appropriate questions, to receive the appropriate answers, and to get to the point. And that's a very, very precious skill. And actually, the most of us, adult ones, lack this skill, and we are really hopeless. The majority, actually. I know because I work with bodies, and I work with your subconscious, and I know the majority of adults, they don't want to be neither happy, neither successful, and really hopeless. But we have our children, and we have teenagers, and these are our heritage, and these are the people we could invest in. So maybe in case you will consider how to pack it somehow in a program that would be somehow introduced into the educational system here or somewhere else, or maybe in addition to the educational system that will teach our children and teenagers how to ask proper questions to receive the right answers, that would be a really very, very precious to the whole human heritage. So that's my suggestion, how to focus.
Thank you for the feedback.
Anyone else with any questions?
Provoke anybody else to come and say no?
No? Nobody? Okay, good to go. Alright, cool. So who's next? You have the list. Hold on. Wait. Come on. You got the list, right? Let's go through it. Oh, you're next. All right, brilliant.
Okay.
So please.
That was fast.
Good to go?
Go for it.
All right, hi, I'm Georgina Diakoulis. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Aria Health. So, about 2 years ago, the NHS England announced that they are opening access to 55 million patient records to private businesses. Now you can imagine the reaction to this. Immediately within the first week, 3 million patients opted out of this, privacy lobby groups got involved, and the whole scheme was put on hold. And this is not an unusual situation. In the commercial space, we've seen 23andMe, they sold 10 million DNA records to GlaxoSmithKline for $300 million. But if you start reading the fine print, for example, of what the NHS did, what they were actually doing was sharing anonymous data for medical research. And so this is actually something that we really need to advance healthcare. You know, we want all these new AI solutions, and we need that data to train and validate those solutions. We want new drug discovery. The government need it for population health and to manage, I know, a pandemic that may come along. And so the fact that we actually have only 10% of medical data is available for these uses shows the importance of making this data available. But we need to have a paradigm shift that changes this so that we can, yes, get that data open and accessible, but not at the expense of transparency and bringing the patients involved. So we developed a blockchain-based health data network that rewards patients for taking care of their health and contributing their data to medical research. Now what we do is we have a decentralized health data platform where the patient create their blockchain wallet, that becomes their, let's say, identifier to collect all their data. We go to the hospitals, we can integrate with their systems and pull in all the health data. Plus we have the patients putting in their wearables, their patient reported outcomes, how their symptoms are going, all this information. And we can have it all stored anonymously because we can use the blockchain to link all this data so we can keep it anonymous and secure and private. But the patients are the ones that have the only key to unlock their data, so that all the data is encrypted based on your individual key. You can then decide, okay, I'm happy to share this data to what we call the marketplace, and there we have researchers, pharmaceutical companies, governments that can come and, one, discover data, but more importantly, discover patients. So even though it's anonymous, we then create a bridge between, let's say, the researcher and the patient, and they can then send them up follow-up questions. So, for example, you're taking a medication. They've tested it in their controlled environment, the clinical trial, but now I want to see what's happening in the real world. What are the symptoms that come when it's mixed with 2 different medications? When I have different lifestyle impacts. And so having that interaction with the patient is really important, which is what we don't have now. Anonymous data, fine, but it's cold, it's static, we don't have access to the patient. And then with that, we then kind of enforce anyone using the data to tell the patient what it's being used for. So you're not just saying, yeah, have access to my data and it goes off into a black hole. But now we have a cycle where we can say, oh, your data, you have diabetes, we use your data for the development of a new medication, it had this impact, it had this outcome. And the whole idea there is also to change and educate patients on for example, what pharma are doing, what research is doing. It's not all bad. Like there are, problems are there, but there is positives there in trying to bring that transparency and that education and help patients have a more informed decision over how their information is used. And then the final piece to this is any revenue that is generated from this, we then distribute back via smart contracts to the healthcare providers and the patients. And this is then where the incentivization comes in. So I now can give you rewards for taking care of your health, for taking your medication, for bringing your data, for sharing your data, for getting engaged in healthcare. And so I'm incentivizing you to keep giving. And also some goes back to the healthcare providers. Now imagine we then did this on a national level. So take the NHS example at the beginning. Now what if they had announced this with a system like this, where they're saying, you know what, we are giving you your data and you can decide, and we are going to earn something from it, you're going to earn something from it, and we're going to now reinvest that money back into the healthcare system. We can start paying for the mess which the NHS is in the UK, we can reduce your taxes, and it's helping you engage in your health and improve overall outcomes, which reduces costs for the NHS, and it's benefiting research, which brings in new technologies and new innovations, and that is the idea. Part of the idea, we have launched it a couple of times.
So who would invest in this?
Do we have a
Brilliant.
Q&A?
So that's where your money is.
Okay.
You gotta go. Who's a maybe and needs more information?
We need more information, but we didn't invest. We already invested.
Who's a hell no? Got a hell no here. Come on up, come on guys, join us.
No,
So we've got two.
She's from the UK.
Alright, here we go.
I think it's a great idea, and I think it's exactly what everyone needs to do, and that's how healthcare would progress forward. But I wouldn't invest, because I think you would really struggle convincing people to actually use it. And the reason for that is, especially in the UK, everyone is so used to having their data being sold, given away, no matter how many GDP rules there are. You put your email address into something, that's it, it's over. You're getting like 5,000 people contacting you about random things. So generally, like, I am so wary of giving my data out to anyone, and I think that will be the general consensus. So I think we'll just find it difficult to get a proper traction. Even big government portals have been hacked into in the UK. So no matter how much you tell people it's encrypted or it's protected, and most of the public don't even understand what half of the encryptions and security things even mean. So that's why I wouldn't invest. But it's a brilliant idea.
Thank you for that. Alexia.
It's work with the governments, I don't want.
So you wouldn't invest?
No, I said maybe, but I just wanted to ask a question.
Sure, go for it.
So what's what's the sort of feature strategy for this? Like, what's your aim to make sure that it's economically viable to start? So kind of following from that point, it's convincing individuals from a B2C point of view to take this up. It's going to be quite hard, but if you can find a way to convince hospitals, maybe automate something in the process and go in that way, so they pay you for the service or something, then maybe that could be one potential route.
Yeah, I think this is one of the most difficult things. Is you have a number of different stakeholders here. So you have the healthcare providers, you have the patients, you have the researchers and data users, and you have to kind of stimulate the whole network to get going. And so how do you get started? And we've started with hospitals, and sort of the hospitals have that trusted relationship with the patients, and so if you particularly with one more private route, so do it with them, and then they bring it to their patients. But hospitals are slow, and health systems are slow, and so it's difficult as a startup, to be that patient and have that runway. And so then it's like, okay, well, if this is a patient-centric system, shouldn't it come from the patients, and how can we then drive demand from the patients? So I think that's definitely a very good point in trying to find what's that, how do we stimulate that network to get going, and which party do we start with?
Thank you. Justine.
Thank you, Mazen Gadir. I did say I would invest, not because I know James, but I think the idea might not be made for the UK, perhaps it could be for this region. So my question to you, because the region here could be, your idea could be pitched also as a government initiative, or part of a government initiative. Have you thought about also, or what are some of the priority markets if I say, this is not for UK, what else would you target?
Yeah, so we actually, despite my accent, I haven't been targeting the UK, despite my examples. But yes, it's trying to find, do you go government level? And if you get it, then you get the quick win. But you also risk, they need a bit more comfort, they're not necessarily going to be the first ones to innovate. So yeah, some of the target that we've been looking maybe more at the systems which have more of a private sort of push side, so that at least we can get it going with some of the hospitals. Looking within, because we started in Europe, so we are GDPR compliant, so there are markets around there, but looking at the markets which may be a little less NHS, national health system controlled. And this region, I think, is a really interesting region for it. I mean, I've really seen that one of the problems in Europe is we have legacy systems, so it's very hard to unwind these systems, whereas here you have a lot of very sort of new technology, relatively recently set up, and so it's much easier to integrate into those. And so yes, I think this region's a really interesting one.
So you just got me thinking, like, why are you dependent on government or hospitals to provide you with data where, as patients have their own data, they have their own reports, they have their own history that they have, so why not engage directly with, the patients?
Yeah, so I think that's an interesting point. I think they have a lot of data. I mean, even we have our wearables, we have our patient reporting. You can, for example, track your medications, and that alone is really useful information. But yes, there is a problem of being able to get my whole file. So it's not that easy for patients to go and get all their medical records. And then there's also that element of trust over those records. So there's two problems. One, we've seen solutions like Google try to do a platform where they're getting patients to upload their data. No one's going to sit there and scan all their records and upload them to the platform. So that was a big issue. And then the second thing is, if we're providing this to research, they need to know where the source of this data is. So when we can say this has come directly from the hospital API straight into the blockchain where it's immutable, etc., it gives much more credibility. Having said that, I think there is a lot of value in patient-reported information, and I think the combination of the two, which doesn't exist much now, is a great way to go. And yeah, it's trying to see and maybe doing a bit of both plays, a bit of B2C, to get some of the demand being stimulated while we try and build the sort of maybe slightly more robust but complicated sort of integrations with the existing systems. Yeah, and that's great, yeah, because like wearables and things, they're so easy to integrate. I mean, they're all open, APIs are out there, you can do it in a second. But obviously the level of value of that data compared to the level of value of the medical record, it's not there, but it's something to start with at least.
Yeah, something to start with.
Exactly, it's to start, as I said, getting that cycle. Who do you push first? You push the patient first, the hospital, is it the pharma, because they're the ones who are bringing the revenue to incentivize everyone, so it's sort of trying to get...
Yeah, so one thing that's not there right now...
I'll leave you for a second, we've got 2 more questions.
Yeah.
You got to continue the discussion.
So, probably a few questions. First one is, in this scenario, the most important one is the researcher. Have you validated that the researchers care about this data? Because my information, my son is the researcher in the NHS, and if you are part of the system, then if you work for a hospital, then you have access to the data. If you work for a university, then you have access to the data. So basically, you're probably targeting a certain external entities that are not part of the system. So this is number one. Number two, why you're limiting the solution to the UK NHS, think global, and tomorrow, another party, another party won the election and they decided to privatize the healthcare section, then this solution will not be valid. So, and this is not government, probably it's valid for Canada and the UK because they have government managed healthcare system, but the rest of the world it's mixed or it's private. So this is my encouragement. Think for global health works.
Super. One more.
Sorry, a lot of analysis paralysis I felt. I'm quite disappointed because of the thousands of presentations I've seen over the last 10 years, I credit you for really, as a founder, and as you know, all investors, they invest in the person. So you are very credible. I mean, as a presenter, I think you should be a TV presenter. If you failed in this, you can jump back on that. Yeah, so I feel like I watched a documentary or something like that. No, but the business, like I said, we invest in people, and I just want to say you're very credible, and congratulations. I'm sure you will succeed. Whatever you do.
Not a question, but I would like to connect with you. My last startup, they did something like this, and with the government.
Yeah.
So maybe I can help you out with that.
Brilliant. Any more questions? One more, okay. So last one.
I'm really very sorry, maybe I just haven't got the point, but where is the money? Because am I supposed to be paying on a subscription basis, for example, as a patient? I will provide my data and you will provide me some precious recommendations or analyses on the database you have? Or are there the pharmaceutical companies paying for your recommendation of their medicines to the patients? Or am I, as representative of the clinic, paying for recommendations of the analysis and researches that could be done in my clinic? Or all this or nothing of this? Sorry, just to be clear.
Thank you. So I'm actually going to answer two questions in one. So you mentioned about the validation of, do people need this data? Are they going to pay for this data? So the main customer, let's say, who's actually paying is the researchers and the farmers. Now, you're right, at universities and for researchers within the health systems, they don't pay for data. And there are two parts of this. So they don't pay for data, but it doesn't mean it's easy for them to get data always. So, for example, working with a consortium, they have 40 research centres, and they're trying to build a consortium for sharing data. And they said the bureaucracy we have to go through to get the consent, to do the data portability agreement, so particularly when you're going cross-border. So even though they technically have the data for free, if they can have a platform where they just click a button and they get the data, we can justify it. But what we found that the big value that we do, which is different to say IQVIA or any of the other data platforms, is the patient engagement element. So while the researchers now can get the data, if they then want to tap back into that patient and say, patient X, we've done studies on this. What's happened since then? How did you respond to this treatment? When you changed treatment, what happened? And so I think that's where we're leaning into more, is the additional patient engagement which we can bring, which is more than just the data. And so to answer your question then, we effectively go to the researchers and they pay us to do or they pay fees to outreach to the patient. So it can be as simple as I need to send a survey to the patients about how they're reacting to medication. So it's them who are paying, and that money then gets distributed back to the patients and back to the healthcare providers. And we do also charge the healthcare providers for some of the integration services and for them to have that opportunity to be on the network. But most of it's from the sort of pharma researchers paying. They have enough money.
Thank you. Super, thank you very much. A round of applause, please. Thank you. We've got one more lined up. Bibin is here. He's not. All right, brilliant. Who would like to come up and share an idea that you've got? Come on up. Not today.
So I have not untypical idea maybe for this type of event. It's actually about cash machine. So usually we don't speak about money here somehow, but we're all entrepreneurs, but we're all trying to solve some giant problems that actually not bringing us money, and then we're struggling how to convert clients, how to earn, where is the money in our business models. Maybe some of you are successful in that, but actually I decided to go from another side. Where is the money? How we can earn and so on. So I have a very simple idea. It's a cash machine that we can launch all together, maybe to make it kind of community business or so. Don't take me wrong or so. There is in Spanish language 1,200,000 people every month who are looking for natal charts. Those who Googling astrology and horoscopes even more, but only one keyword, natal charts, in Spanish, in Argentina, in Argentina, in Spain, in Northern America, in Mexico, and even in US, are interested in this thematic. And usually, even just Google says that I personally can earn around $70,000 per year just with a traffic website. This is what Google is going to pay to me. I will achieve 500,000 visitors per month. But also, all of us who participate in this project, we can include there some paid things like calculating natal charts personally for family, dogs, myself, having fresh natal chart about what to do every month and so on. So it can be a very fun thing. I mean, to build as a business, there is a demand, people paying money for this. For example, for some astrologists, people pay like a $50 per like a 10-minute session or so, just to give them an advice what to do later, or take a look on their natal chart. The same thing can go with tarot cards and everything. So with the AI things, we can simplify the process of understanding what does it mean this natal chart, and make individual natal charts just unlimited for everyone, for money, and monetize also traffic there. So this is my idea, very simple one. Investments around $700 per month. During a year, after 1 year, we'll start earning around, so if I'm not wrong, like in my calculations, so we will achieve 500,000 visitors like in a year by consistent investing. Then in a year we will earn this 60K without other things. And if we will reach for sure like 1 million and more, we will get that twice more. And with the monetization of selling natal charts, even $8 per calculation, we will get extra 120K per month, I think. I hope. If we will like sell it and make people buy it every month for themselves. Thank you.
I think that's a very interesting one, right? So how many of you would invest? Us.
Yes.
Maybe you need more information.
Just it's small investment. Just
So who wouldn't invest? Who wouldn't invest? Go on, you go Makbul, okay, who else? Come on. Join us on stage. You said you wouldn't invest, right? Makbul, boy, come. Join us on stage. Tell us why.
The idea is extremely simplistic. What's the barrier for entry, or what's stopping from other people doing it?
Somehow, nobody did it before except old style websites like 15 years old, which is ugly with the bad features, bad SEOs, but somehow they're generating a lot of traffic. So nobody stops us. If we will be first, we will just get a part of this pie.
One question. You said the investment is $700 per month. So that's annually, that's around $8,400. What's the return on that?
Yeah, sure. In that case, investor gets 25% of the revenue of the whole website. So if per year we will generate 100K, investor will get back 25K yearly.
So why, if it's only $8,400, why do you need an investment and get a loan? And why you want to give away 25% of the revenue? If it's only $8,000, you can ask for a loan which you can pay back easily in 2 years, even with 30% interest. That will still allow you to keep the revenue and not share it.
Okay, Halas investment round is closed. No more options in this idea, thank you.
You're talking to the wrong guy. Numbers,
Okay, so two reasons. One, for ethical reasons, I won't invest. But second, you said there is nobody doing. There is a startup called AstroTalk. Those from India might be knowing. Yeah.
Spanish.
So there is a startup, and it's a very, very profitable model. And not just $700, they're making millions, in profits. So there are others out there, including and apart from this Astro, There are people who are doing on tarot card reading, including some in the community I know who is also into tarot card reading. So I don't know what is your moat about this idea.
So the thing is, it's just a very simple. You put money in the traffic, you monetize this traffic. That's it. There is a lot of traffic, 1,200,000. I don't want to disrupt the market with it. There is available people who are looking for some particular things in Spanish. In other languages, I think we can just repeat it with the power of global and earn even more.
She's not running this Astro website for Astro purpose. She's doing it to generate traffic, and then she is going to do it, and she's plugging her own startup global.
She's smart about it. She's being honest about it.
Yes, I think you're brilliant in terms of this math thing. You're like 60,000, 400. Yeah, amazing, like a machine. You're the machine. Excellent. Yeah, I think you could get any idea and do that with. So, like, you just need to investigate a little bit. My issue is with the adding value. This idea does not add value to the people who's paying. Yeah, because I don't believe in any of that. It's personal. Yeah.
It's yours.
Yeah.
Your investigating platform can help, right?
I mean, I can find out the fraud, right? If that was asked. But yeah, it's I don't know how you add value to that person's life, and that's why I wouldn't invest. Yeah, with telling them about the stars, I know for a fact that stars move differently than most people think. I'm a physicist, yeah. So there you go.
You want to add anything to that?
Nothing. You have 2 hours to commit, otherwise I will take a loan and that's it.
Thank you. Alright, I think anyone else would like to share an idea? We're good? Alright, so
Shivan.
Do you have an idea you want to share?
Yeah, he want to explain his startup.
Join us, come on.
Not
today. Okay, I won't force you. So next week then. Alright, brilliant. You want to share something? An idea? Go for it.
Timeshare? Yeah. Okay, right now I have 5 minutes. I'm offering it to anyone for, let's say, $50. Anyone, 50 or 50? Okay. Hi folks, I haven't been here for like a couple months, I think. It's been too long. I've been missing you folks. Yeah. There are just 2 events that we're working on. So, by quick intro for new people, we run entrepreneurship education programs in the Middle East and Africa, and we're building software to help us and others run higher quality, more effective data-supported programs that help both organizational growth and individual skills development. And we're using the software internally and then working to improve it as we try to roll it out as open public SaaS in the next 6 months or so. We have one really cool program coming up, I think February 20th, a couple of days before STEP. You folks know about STEP conference coming up later this month? We're bringing 10 teams, so we're running a program supporting women-led green and social impact entrepreneurs in the Middle East and Africa, and we're bringing 10 of those teams to the UAE every year. Yeah, is this better maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. We're bringing them the week of Feb 19th, and we're organizing a fun event on February 20th, which is Tuesday, around supporting these amazing entrepreneurs. They're coming from, I think, 6 or 7 different countries, and really amazing projects and amazing women. So put it in your calendar, Feb 20th. And if anyone is particularly interested in getting involved or that topic, etc., we're looking for mentors, for people to connect with these teams. And also part of the event is going to be how can we build towards a world where there is no more gender inequality. So open to have all of you folks join that. And then we're also working on another event related to entrepreneurship education. Part of our work is around doing research into different methodologies. How do we sort of foster entrepreneurship skills, those soft skills, and life skills, and well-being, and motivation, and character strengths, etc., that connect to entrepreneurship, but entrepreneurship skills valuable for everybody, whether they're entrepreneurs or not. And so we're looking at organizing some sort of mini conference related to some of these global frameworks. How can we help build momentum on them? We're doing some research looking at how we can balance between sort of the data and the tech side and the very, very human and community side of what that means of fostering entrepreneurship in the UAE and also in the region. The Middle East and Africa now is mostly our focus, but beyond that. So if either of those are of interest to you, we're looking probably at April maybe for that. We're drafting the concept note for that and sharing it around with folks. So I mean, if that's interesting for anyone. Yeah, cheers, folks.
Brilliant. All right, so I think we've come to an end. If there's anyone else who wants to share how their week has been, all right, cool. Oh, you'd like to share an idea? All right. Where were you then? I'm waiting for you. Go for it.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Shoaib. I have a company in N5 called ITB Commerce, and we are doing EDU tech from last 10 years. It's called RoboKids. Started in Pakistan in 2014. It's established company, but the idea which I'm going to share with you guys and would like to have your feedback on that is our mission is the STEM education to reach to every home and every school. And on that idea, what we are trying to build it up in the cloud space, we are building up virtual machines, and we would like to give that virtual machine to every parents and every school labs to have all that accessibility of all type of content which is available worldwide. Some are free, some are paid, with a single sign-on. So that machine would be accessible from any device at home, like the kids is having a tablet or a phone or a laptop, so they can access that virtual machine and they have a track of doing and for their career. So let's say your kid is in grade 5 or 7, so they can further study what they're going to study further on that. So they need help in their education side, like in their maybe some academic help or maybe some other help. They are exploring AI and all that as well. So what we are trying to do is that, with that machine, all the tools are there. AI tools are also available in that machine, and also the libraries are also connected with that machine. We already tried and we build on Azure pool of machines on that. Azure provides the pool of machines, virtual machines, which give them the accessibility to that pool. So let's say we need 100 machines from that, so we can get the 100 machines on that in that pool and give the access to the, let's say one school need 10 machines or one parent need 1 machine or 2 machines at their home. So we can provide it that. For that idea, we also, what we did is we are partnering with one US company. They are already in 90,000 schools. And for that, I need your feedback as a parent or whoever is having a kids or not having a kids even, how this, they're going to use it or not use it, or how they feel about this idea. I would love to get your feedbacks. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll extend it. All right, so who would invest? Maybe? No? Nobody? Nobody would invest?
Actually, we didn't understand that.
Okay, good. So that was my next question. Who understood what they're doing?
Can I ask questions?
Yes, please.
I'm sorry, but I didn't understand. Is it a physical machine that you're installing in a school? And what exactly does it do? Yeah, say, okay, I'm a school principal. How would you pitch me this machine if it's a physical machine? Why do I need it in my school? I really couldn't understand. So sorry.
Yeah. So every school is having some labs, computer labs available, right? And in that computer labs, you have a particular subjects or particular like computer classes which will happen in that lab, right? So in that lab, already the physical machines are there, right? We are not going to provide a physical machine to you. We are going to provide a cloud machine, which is a virtual machine, which would be accessible from that physical machine which you already have it, right? So you already have that machine in your lab, in your school lab. So from there, you will be having another virtual machine to be accessible, but with all the educational content and with all the tools which you are not even accessible in your, like, let's say if you want to provide all the education, all the library access and all that, you need to have a lot of efforts and a lot of partnership to be done to get for your school, for all kind of resources which are available around the world to be collected at one place. So that's what we are doing it, and we are providing that machine to your kids as well.
So is it like a library on the cloud?
It's a library as well. It's not only a library, it's a tools as well, AI tools, and it's also educational resources which are around the world available. Some are free, some are paid.
So I understood what you're trying to do. So maybe your school or college, university, subscribe to some, for example, Wiley Interest Access for research publications. Now that is accessible only on specific machines available on campus, right? And what you are trying to do is to provide virtual access to that through the cloud. But then there are limitations on that subscription. They won't allow simultaneous access to that subscription from various places. How would you do it?
No, I think you misunderstood the idea of what we're doing is that one. See, I do have also the kids. So kids are very distracted from the right now. Like they are spending a lot of time on YouTube. They are spending time on different social networks and all that. And for that, for their career progression, definitely somebody need to mentor them properly. In schools and at home, the parents are doing the mentorship. But what they are going to do next for that, let's say my kid, she asked me for this subject, which books do I need to read, right? So these kind of things, which are difficult for some parents to provide to those kids, those mentorships and all that, which we would like to provide through that. So we will get some information from the kids or from the parents, like which area, which school, which subject they like and all that. So accordingly, through the AI, we make a career progression planner and provide all kind of resources which are available in the world to your kids so they can do in the career progression.
What is the Google search or internet for?
Yeah, so Google search doesn't provide you all the resources which are available anywhere in the world, right? Google doesn't provide you. You have to go to each and every resource and access it. And let's say you access 10 resources. For that 10 resources, you need to create 10 accounts. And then 10 accounts, your kids need to log in, and sometimes you forget the passwords. So we are providing a single sign-on. You don't need to log in again and again for 10 resources.
So I think probably there is an idea that probably you need to refine. So when it comes to education is regulated. You cannot rely on LLM to generate content for my son to digest. It has to pass by the educator. The educator had to approve it, and there will be well-known, studied, approved material that will be presented to the student. So you cannot rely on a machine that will run. So probably what you need to take this one step up, and provide resources to the teacher, educator to prepare their materials. Now, when it comes to career progression, as I said, Google is there, Udemy is there, where I have access to unlimited training courses to educate material that I can provide for the student. So again, think about whatever is presented to the student has to be approved by multiple layers. Now, who's your end user? Probably your end user is the educator, not that.
Yes, so our end user is schools as well, and our end user is parents as well. And the resources which would be accessible, like Udemy and all that, like all these resources are not available for your kids at all at once. So we are already partnered with some North American companies, but other than that, we are partnering with a company who is already doing it in 90,000 schools in US.
I think the best thing is what you said at the end. You want to be the single sign-on source for all these resources.
Yes, right. That's correct.
That's it. That is the only thing that you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. A lot of you look puzzled. You got a lot of questions, right? Who are you? Go.
Guys, I think you're having a good evening. So I'm actually looking for getting roasted, like really roasted. It looks like all of you are very, very, very quiet. And I'll give you something, good to be roasted. So, anybody in the crowd who is from e-commerce background? E-commerce background. Okay, all right, fine. Anybody from the transportation background?
A lot.
All right, okay, fine. And everybody is from packaging background? Packaging? All right, okay, fine. Fair enough. So this is the idea which has been going for a long time. How many of you are the consumers? Has anybody bought anything in their life by e-commerce? All right,
No
okay,
shit,
fine.
Sherlock.
Okay, fine. So I'm not exactly living under a cave. Now, if you were to be given an option that when you buy something, it does not damage the environment, would you choose to take that option?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah?
Yeah, like no cutlery, man. No cutlery. I
As
don't want
much
any
as I
cutlery
would
for
like,
salad.
if it is easy on the pocket only.
Yeah, okay, fine. So there's this economy which comes into the picture. Now, I mean, I'll just give you some top of the head statistics, like Amazon, which is the elephant in the room, right? Their carbon emissions per year is about 70 million tons, which is equivalent to about 2.8 million trees, which they have to plant to actually compensate that. Yeah. And when you actually order something, when you order a pizza, let's say that you are somebody who's ethically motivated and you order a vegan pizza, you're sitting in a business day and it comes from Jumeirah. By the time it actually comes to your house and you feel that, yes, I did good because I ordered something which is nice, I did not kill a cow. By the time it actually comes to you, gets delivered, goes back, right? You would have actually added 6 kilo of carbon. Right, 6 kilo of carbon. So every kilometer of transportation actually gives anywhere between 120 to 200 grams of carbon. That's the fact. That's the established fact. So when you look at e-commerce as the space or commerce as a space, there are 3 areas where the pollution happens or carbon emission happens. One is the sourcing, second one is the packaging, third one is transportation. So you have actually people from all the 3 sides. So this is the 3 main areas where carbon emission actually happens. So even when somebody says that I'm sustainable, but if it is not packaged in a sustainable manner or not transported in a sustainable manner, the whole chain does not work. So the idea was to truly create a end-to-end clean, green supply chain, which means sustainable sourcing, sustainable packaging, and green transportation, with very clear way of connecting this as a carbon offset, right? So this was the idea. This is not a pitch actually, but I wanted to get the group's opinion. So imagine that if you want to buy something and you do not know where to go, and you do not know what's the carbon footprint and where it's been sourced, what will you do? You will possibly go to one of the Amazon also has a source where they have sustainable products, but the transportation and the packaging is not sustainable. The whole idea is to actually create a truly green supply chain, which is from sourcing, ethically sourced, ethically packaged, recycled packaging, and green transportation. Backed with analytics. So, guys, go on, it's your time. Roast.
Piece of shit.
Okay.
So first of all, who would invest in this?
No one.
Okay, brilliant. You got quite a few hands. You got your money, bro.
Yeah.
Maybe need more information.
Yeah.
Man, you should only
Who's a no?
You should only accept crypto, man, because we
Okay, come.
paper money.
Join us again. You're famous today.
I mean, this is greenwashing on top of greenwashing. It's just bullshit. What you just said. It's completely, utterly impossible right now with the current state of affairs. So all you're trying to do is greenwash some consultant and some VC to give you a bit of money for some more greenwashing in the market.
That's just in space.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just, what you just said.
Okay, explain how.
So, you're talking about a value chain being green.
Okay.
How will you make it green? Can you please explain? Let's talk about logistics. How will the logistics be green?
So I actually got involved in a project sometime ago. This is not a concept, it's in real life actually. To greenify the last mile. So in the logistic there are two parts to it. The first mile and the last mile. Right? So greenification of the last mile can happen now, practical by two ways. One is electric. If you want to go back to the sourcing of electric, that's a different thing. But purely from an emission point of view.
Wait, why is it a different thing?
So, if we're going to use an electric bike, do you know the emissions caused for manufacturing that bike? It's actually creating more emissions to mine for the rare minerals that allow somebody to create that green bike and sell it to you as a greenwash product. So, how's it green?
Today, in today's context, there is no other alternative than hydrogen. Hydrogen has actually not become the mainstream, right?
There are other alternates. There is methane, okay? Gas actually has lower emission per capita as compared to hydrogen, green, or lithium, or whatever you call of these nonsenses. Actually, gas is way cleaner, and there's infinite amount of gas available on our planet. Normal gas, hydrocarbons. Of course.
Okay, that's a different debate.
No, okay, so the point is that when you talk about green transportation, it's not electric alone, right? So the concept is green transportation. It could be gas, it could be alternatives, whatever is commercially available.
Thank you.
Let me ask you this question. What is the idea? Here we want to make it green, yeah? But how?
So the idea is that there was actually a real life survey which has happened when there were 4,000 people who were interviewed, the Gen Z and millennials, which I belong to the generations who I was known. So they said 73% of the Gen Z and millennials, they said that we would prefer an alternative if it exists. Yeah, but yeah, the intent matters, right? The intent matters. So they cannot have the entire understanding, but the intent matters. So if I were to have that option that when I buy something and it does not harm the environment, how to do that?
I think we all have the intent, but is it possible? Is it
So-
really possible? Yeah. So
The question is, let's take out all the data, yeah? We created an item here. I live here. How do you kill this distance?
All right, okay. So the first mile of the entire thing is going to be the sourcing, right? So if I'm going to actually source, that's where the validation happens. So I'm not going to actually, it's not a place which is a replacement of Amazon, that I would not possibly go to the same sellers, right? This will be the vetted sellers where you make sure that the production processes are ethical. They do not possibly use the chemical. We are not talking about all the 8 billion population, right? We are looking for people who are absolutely conscious. Maybe it could be something which is like a soap, which does not use parabens, right? Or it could be hair dye, which does not use one of the chemicals, right? So those were the listed items which will be going to there. That's one. Second one is the packaging. So packaging, you have two options: less packaging and recyclable packaging. Right?
damaged product.
Damaged product, yeah. So damaged product is actually
Less packaging, it's damaged item.
It's not really actually, because when there is, if you are able to actually take care in packaging, there are two parts to it. One is that your, so typically e-commerce guys, what's the kind of return you get? Anywhere between 3 to 15%.
No, it's less than 3%.
Huh?
Less than 3%.
3%.
No,
Yeah.
less.
We did that.
No, less.
3 to 15%, yeah, because it's the category to category. Amazon actually accounts in their books about 1.8 to 2% as the return.
Damaged items, 3 to 50%.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
people
yeah,
who
yeah.
actually consume, moving, tried it on and returned because they didn't like it, it's much more. Especially
Yeah.
in the retail, in the fashion industry. So,
Yeah, absolutely. So fashion is actually, I think, 12% contributed to the global emissions. The total emissions of e-commerce.
Sorry to stop that.
Yeah. So the whole idea is that we are not going to have the same kind of items which are listed in the Amazon in this platform. Yeah. So the source items is going to be different. For example, it could be it's an idea. Yeah. Like the source of the items could be cotton or bamboo clothes if it is fashion. Right. If it is food, it may be something which is not derived from the animals.
Why not?
Why? Because you.
I love
Yeah.
Some people love their meat.
Yeah. Why does animals? Why are they?
You're not my customer.
Okay, who's going to be his customer? Got one more question there.
So basically, you said that there is a problem with the pollution, and you're suggesting
Consumption.
you're suggesting that you have a solution, and you're pointing to sustainability and green as your solution. I don't see a solution. You have not presented a solution. Green and sustainability, these are 1 trillion ideas. So my recommendation is, you don't have the solution. You have something that can improve in the sustainability, in the green. And you pick a problem, okay, and you look at packaging, you look at transportation, and you find a method that can improve in this big theme. At that point of time, you will have an idea that you can build on. But to say that I will solve this problem and look at green and sustainability, and this is how it works, I don't see anything that I can grasp. So probably you have something in your mind that's not properly presented.
I'll come to you.
Yeah.
Remember the question.
Yeah. All the questions.
I'm not going to roast you. So, I think even if you achieve only 10% of what you set out to do, it would be 10% more than what most other companies are doing right now. So that's why I would support it, because no one can make it 100% foolproof. But if everyone tries to make it a little bit better than what they're doing right now, then you are moving in the right direction, basically.
One here. I'm Shah. So, basically, I'm here already.
So to the point that you're overcomplicating from study. So you don't need to go and fill in and for yourself and figure out who's doing what green and figure out all the methodology. You don't need to do any of that. You can just go to people like Friends on the Planet, 1% for the Earth, B Corp, all those companies. They've done the vetting, they've done the methodology, they've done the research. Work with them and just work with companies that already offer products verified by them and create a green album. So you don't have to do any of that work. All you have to do, website, marketplace, similar to how Amazon kind of started out with books and stuff. You may not even have to store anything in a warehouse or anything like that to begin with. You can just put together a website effectively and figure out your own channels and go from there. And if you want an example of that, there's one that you make with Canopy. C-A-N-O-P-E-Y. I'm an investor in that one. So if you can do something here for the region, then
So that's the sourcing part, right? Okay, brilliant.
So actually, I'm not going to roast you. I just wanted to give you maybe a hint where you can think of some ideas, because as for the packaging, I know a few family businesses that, and this is their maybe value proposition for their clients, because they pack their goods in a routine garbage. So what their family and households are littering, they pack their goods in this. Of course, it's very clean and so on and so forth. And their clients have an additional value to be sustainable because they do not add pollution. That's the first idea. And the second one maybe concerns the transportation, because I could be your ambassador because I like the idea, and every time ordering from Amazon I stop myself because okay, it's packed in hundreds of thousands of different packages, and actually I do not need them all. I only need maybe a small piece. So for me, there is not a problem to go into one storage center if it's conveniently located, or maybe to receive my package through a drone delivery or something, but that could be an idea to investigate. So how can I get there? Maybe on public transport?
Yeah.
Thank you. You can speak to him later. We're done. Done with the questions, no answer.
Alright guys, okay. So this was the idea actually. I mean, I did propose the same idea in another conference a couple of months ago. The same thing, and just an idea. And, it actually had a mixture of students, Gen Z and millennials, and they, surprisingly, overwhelmingly, they said that we would prefer to have an option which is greener and would be able to pay anywhere between 10 to 15% more. And so this is, I mean, I did not have a product or something, but it's more like a poll, and this was a crowd of about 200 people. So, and this is where I thought that, okay, let me just present this idea with the group, and what do the group think, and happy to get this kind of insights.
Yeah, I would like to add more. Everyone's connected.
What you have mentioned. One, Amazon and all, they are using recycled packaging.
But transport is not.
Yeah, so coming to that. About your idea, there's, as Mo mentioned, even here in UAE, there's a startup called Sustainability Kiosk, and they are doing it end-to-end right now with the hospitality industry. So as Mo mentioned, you can maybe discuss it with those startups and plug the loopholes. For example, the last mile delivery or the transportation is a loophole into this. How you can maybe, if not electric, maybe bicycles, something like that. I think in Indonesia or somewhere, such kind of solutions are working on the local level. So these are the solutions, how you can target.
The other part was to see that as a consumer, it's okay. I can.
You got your answers right now.
Yeah. The other part is that how do you plug in analytics? So yeah, as a consumer, possibly end of the month or end of the week, you will actually know that what's the kind of carbon offset you have done, because it's quite possible for you to make a track. If you are able to track the whole journey of the items from the source to your house or wherever.
Thank you, Raj.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody. So I think I would not want to take any more of your time. It's a Friday night. I'm sure many of you have plans to go out and fall on the floor maybe, I don't know. But anyway, thank you all for joining us today. If there's any questions, feel free to reach out to each other. So thank you. Enjoy the evening and the weekend, guys.